www.knowledgespace.com.
Welcome back to Business Unusual. New York's South Bronx is better known for its violence and crime than for its business opportunity. But that hasn't stopped Frank Diaz. He's as tough as his neighborhood. And while his furniture store may not be large nor trendy, he could teach you a thing or two about survival in business.
It's 10:30 on a brisk fall morning, and 90-year-old Frank Diaz starts his daily inspection, a tradition his two sons are accustomed to.
If you did 98 things correctly, he's got the gift to ask about the other two. So it's kind of like a personal challenge to have everything on the ball.
This is the Frank Diaz Furniture Store, a family business that's been thriving for 60 years, a tribute to Diaz's savvy business skills.
What's your secret?
Work hard and treat people right.
And that's especially true where Frank Diaz sells his furniture. He's in the heart of the South Bronx, one of the toughest neighborhoods around. Think of the South Bronx, and this is what most people imagine, a community devastated by fires.
What are you begging for?
Rocked by violence and ravaged by drugs. From the 1960s through the early 1990s, the South Bronx lost more than 40,000 residents and 25,000 jobs.
You were the only Latino that opened up a store on this block?
But Frank Diaz lived and thrived and sold furniture through all of that, living proof that a smart businessman can do business anywhere.
And that corner was the first store, because I had another store on the boulevard.
Oh, I see. Here's the wonderful sign.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, the sign's still there.
That's wonderful.
Let's go across.
Mueblería Frantería.
This old neon sign is all that's left of Frank's first store. He opened in 1939 after trying for years to get promoted at a local restaurant. But back then, people often didn't put Latinos into management positions. So Diaz went on his own. Unfortunately, the local South Bronx businessmen weren't too happy to see him either.
As a matter of fact, there were some here that were very upset because of, there was so many Latinos here. I know if a Latino come, they're going to come to me, not to them.
He was right. Diaz filled an economic niche in a community that was seeing the first wave of Puerto Rican migration. He made his customers feel like they could trust him, and he spoke their language. Another reason why the competition didn't like him.
Even the people who own these stores here, they were very much against it, but then I brought them out.
And he kept buying.
Hey, you got to keep going.
Even the owner's got to ring the bell, huh?
Yeah.
So in the 1970s, when most businesses fled the South Bronx, Diaz decided to stay. He became an economic pillar in the community and kept on turning a profit, proof that people in economically depressed areas can and do support local business.
Can you take us back to those times when, the South Bronx was burning?
Yeah, but as crazy as it seems, it really didn't affect us. And you look at our numbers, they've always been, there wasn't that much. In fact, there was maybe a little increase, because people that were moving, they wanted to move with new furniture.
So they were leaving the South Bronx, but with furniture bought from Frank Diaz.
Right.
Diaz has sold furniture to generations of South Bronx residents because he knows what his clients want: color, style, and affordable prices. On the high end, there's an Italian love seat set that goes for $3,600. This lamp, $69. The showroom is, well, understated, but his customers don't mind. They remember the catchy merengue-style jingle from the 1970s that ran on Spanish-language radio, and so does Sam.
Hay que símbolo de garantía. La mueblería Frantería. 24 horas al día.
Sam and Gilbert Diaz love and respect their father and have stayed in the family business.
I would say we have a very close relation with our customers. Some of them, when they come here, as soon as they walk in, they greet us like we were family to them, which is something that means a lot. And I think that's one of the reasons that he's also been successful.
Successful also because Diaz has given credit to people who often don't get that chance.
First of all, they're very nasty. I don't want to deal with those people.
Okay, you want to deal directly with us?
They threaten.
There's always more than meets the eye, For example, if I run a credit report on somebody, and, they've defaulted on the student loan, or it's a big hospital bill or something, to me it's not the same as if, they stiffed Macy's or, 12 credit cards.
Credit is everything here. 38% of our population in the South Bronx is the working poor. They're below the federal poverty line. These are people that live day to day very often, and they require access to credit. They're not going to get traditional credit as you and I may know from a bank. What they will get is a Frank Diaz to extend them the credit to buy their merchandise and work on terms. And that's why Frank is so important and will never be out of business in a community like this.
And in fact may even expand. After years of neglect, the South Bronx is healing. People can now buy low-cost homes instead of renting in public housing. Businesses are slowly returning, including some named companies that can't locate their large stores in Manhattan. Business in the South Bronx? Not an oxymoron anymore.
Hey, listen, this isn't a charity. You know, we're here for two reasons, you know, for the money and the money, you know. If there's no money here, we wouldn't be here.
So do you ever say, Dad, just retire already?
Oh, no, it's past that. I mean, we might have said that 15 or 20 years ago. When you're, you know, deep age, right, and you haven't retired, it ain't going to happen. So, right?
But he's going to be around.
Oh, yeah.
And waiting for the customers, just as he's always done for 60 years. On his feet, ready with a deal. For Business Unusual, Maria Hinojosa, CNN, New York.
Coming up next.